always good energy as we pull through these corners and you see your people outside. That's an amazing feeling as we've been to nearly 40 cities, over 50 corner classes where you put these, social media posts, a couple of emails out, and you pull up in, this is my new hometown. I'm Jersey born and raised, don't get it messed up. But Atlanta's my new hometown. But it feels great to come out and just to be able to see people that look like you, that reflect your desires, your passion for our advancement. We're waiting for our whiteboard. I'm gonna lecture and give us some. So I'm always big on giving action steps in game, right? Like, I'm gonna motivate and inspire you, but I want to give you some things. Jay, what could I do right now today? And before I bring in kind of our opener to the class, I just want to say, I was in our office in Buckhead today, and I was coming from the conference room, and I got a text message or email that mentioned. I got a text message or email that jolted and reminded me of on June 1st. We're gonna talk about a lot today, but on June 1st, we have. That's my hair. My waist spinning. On June 1st, we're having our Tulsa Real Estate Fund IPO. That's initial public offering. What you see on Wall Street when they ding the bell, a company goes public, but we're having our initial Tulsa Real Estate Fund IPO, right? That's a big deal. And I was walking into the conference room and thinking about 7, 8, 9 years ago coming into business and 10 plus years ago on the street corners, hustling in Newark, New Jersey. I had no idea what the hell an IPO was. I didn't know how to send an email. When I first got into real estate, working for Keller Williams, working for Liberty State Finance, and they gave my email address. I'm like, how you work this? So coming from, I got like motivated, I got like hype. Coming from someone that literally, I spent more hours on the corner than anybody in my hood. Coming from the corner, not knowing how to send an email at 25 years old, to now be 37 years old and launching initial public offering, 1 million shares of an IPO of a publicly traded, SEC certified, regulated real estate crowd fund. I'm like, yo, God is good. Like, he works all kinds of magic and miracles. And so I know it's something special that we're doing. I'm just super energized and just motivated by it because y'all see me like this. I'm always thinking from me out the optics of 17-year-old Jay that always has 6 bags in his hand. So y'all see me now and you trying to imagine somebody you didn't know. But I was the one on the prison bus with the shackles around my waist, my feet, handcuffed to another man going across the bridge in Eastern Shore, Maryland, like, yo, if this bus tip over, we done. We like cattle in here. I was the one in 102 degree heat in an 8x10 cell with another grown man who's doing a double life sentence, sweating, laying around on a bunk bed in our boxer shorts because there ain't no AC, thinking about what's happening at home. And so now to be doing this empowering work, loving on my people, educating, empowering, inspiring, and then giving platforms like Tulsa where you can invest and own shares of this IPO for as little as $500 and be an equity owner of projects like this we're going to be acquiring and developing, to be able to lend private capital through easy funding to small businesses, to be able to educate and coach and wealth strategy advise through the Jay Morrison Academy and all the things we do is quite frankly unbelievable to be here. And so I'm just excited. I'm glad you all showed up and showed out. We know traffic was crazy. I'm sure y'all saw what we saw. But we're going to get into it. But I want to start us off. Oh, wait, where's my honey bunny at? Boss Queen? Okay, I'll get her. Oh, honey, so did you want to, were you going to open with me? Or what did we agree on?
Oh, you gonna have me all close.
Okay, cool. She's going to do it.
You do what you do best, babe.
All right, thank you, honey. All right, so again, just very exciting. So I'm going to teach. I like teaching with the whiteboard because I'm a visual learner. I need to see things, but I'll start with the audio until we get our whiteboard. So this lecture today, so right now we're in a unique position where I'm the national spokesman for the 1,000 Men March. This corner class is sponsored by and brought to you by the 1,000 Men and Women Inc. right? The 1,000 Men March is about men, especially black men, but any men, standing up for our community and taking responsibility, reclaiming our responsibility for our community. It's basically saying like, all right, we know we was fooled in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. They sold us on some OG drug dealer kingpin dreams that we all found out was a fluke. It was a trap. And so now as men, we all kind of woke up like, you know what? We got to do something different. And if our community continues to stay under attack the way it is, we seeing the Waffle House this, and we seeing the different attacks in our community all throughout the country. If our community stays as being the poorest, the least educated, if our children aren't getting equal school systems, if we're not getting the right kind of food in our community, if our queens, our women are not respected, or not loved, or not elevated, you know whose fault that is? It's ours. It's the black man's fault. The black woman is not elevated. It's the black man's fault if the black community is not protected. It is nobody's fault but ours. If the Chinese community was the poorest in America or the poorest in the world, if the Chinese community was being attacked and abused, if the Chinese woman was being called bitch every single day, you know whose fault that would be? The Chinese man's fault. It wouldn't be your black self's fault, your African self's fault for what happened in their community. It's not their fault for what we're allowing to happen in our community. So the 1,000 Men March is about like-minded black men, African men in America, stepping up to the plate saying, all right, we got a lot of work to do, but we got this. Like, let's link up. This is what I'm good at, this is what you're good at, this is what you're good at. Let's link up and let's figure this out, because if we don't figure it out for ourselves, it will never get figured out. It's only up to us to save us. We can pray all we want, but every good book tells you faith without works is what? Amen. Let the church say amen. So we don't put the work in. I say action beats ambition. You could be as ambitious as you want to be. Ooh, I want to build wealth. Ooh, I want to save my community. But if you don't put some action behind that ambition, you accomplish nothing. So 1,000 Men March, we are collaborating, right? So I got two hats on that side. I got 1,000 Men March spokesman, supporting Brother Zach and his vision. And then we have the SEC regulated Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and we're collaborating to do what I'm going to teach us today, which is called rep. We're going to rep our hood, we're going to rep our community, we're going to rep our blocks. The blocks we want to buy back, we're going to rep them. And when I say rep, I mean R-E-P-P. P. When we say rep, we're talking about we have to first, when you want to buy back the block. See, I'm a practical person. So whenever you tell me something, let's build the Black Wall Street. Let's buy back the block, yo. I immediately go to, all right, cool, if it makes sense, what's that look like? How do we do it? Don't just sell me hype and good words and good hashtags. How do we actually live it out? How do we do it? So I thought about that. How do we build the Black Wall Street? How do we buy back our blocks? How do we control our own neighborhoods? So we rep our neighborhoods. What that means is, the first R is we gotta relate. We gotta relate to our community. We gotta relate to one another. We have to actually establish and acknowledge that we all on the same page and of the same kind. Yeah, we got some differences. You're a little lighter than me. You might be a little darker than me. I might be spiritual, you might be religious. My financial situation might be different than yours. Your gender preference might be different than mine. Your sexual preference might be different than mine. But there is a like commonality between us. Malcolm X said it best. We have to put our differences in the closet and focus on the things that unite us so we can do some unified work. So when we say that we want to buy back the blocks, build Black Wall Street, let's unite. Who's ever heard someone say, or you said yourself, black people got to unite, yo? Whoever said it, raise their hand. Whoever said we got to unite, I heard someone say we got to unite. So what's unity look like? You can't say we got to unite, but there's no unity action plan. You just talking. That's like saying to your wife, hey babe, we got to buy a house. But you never went and got a pre-approval. You never went and got a credit check. You never went and talked to a realtor. You never got Lord of my land. Plug. So what are you really saying? You're just talking about your ambitious dreams, but with no action steps and plans behind them. So when I say we gotta unify, when I say we gotta buy back our blocks, when I say we gotta control our own neighborhoods, what I'm saying, this is why we do the classes on the corner. What I'm saying, I come out of my corner office in Buckhead, I'll bring my queen with me, loafers, sneakers, jeans on, shorts on, three-piece, don't matter. I'm coming to relate to my people and say, look, I'm one of y'all. You one of me. We one of us. Boss queen, I'm riding with you. I love you, king. I love you, king. I love you, queen. We gotta relate. Thank you. We gotta relate to one another if we're gonna get unified, effective community work done. See, when I tell you my story, talking about from the corner to the corner office, or the 17, 18-year-old Jay that was facing 3 years of life in prison on Rikers Island, to the CEO Jay, managing a multi-million-dollar empire, I'm not just saying it about just for kudos or for inspiration. I'm also showing you the beta test of my life, the proof that I believe that big things, impossible things actually do happen. I believe the impossible really does happen. I believe we can be looking today at this building across the street, right now, the old Butler Street YMCA, the historic site where Dr. King once launched the civil rights movement. But I believe we can be in there with renovated, developed in the next 18 months. And we talking about we all own that. I'm not talking about what Jay Morrison did. That's why we want to do everything that could be a unified effort with the Tulsa Fund. We talking about for as little as $500 to buy 10 shares, or $1,000 for 20 shares, or $10,000 for 200 shares. Whatever your investment budget is, we all could be equity owners, shareholders, partners, in whatever it is that we want to acquire together. In a regulated way, a sophisticated way, a transparent way, an audited way. You don't got, with your own account. All the things that have been holding us back from doing business together, I want to kind of try to shed those myths and lower those barriers, right? That's from an economic standpoint. But my point is, the way that we do what we say we want to do, the reason why y'all here, hopefully, is we got to be able to relate to one another. Brother Zach is a Muslim. I was brought up Christian, I'm just now spiritual. But that's my brother. We don't let our differences get in the way of our common goals. That's what the strategy that our former slave master put on us. Highlighting how different we are. So we can't come together, oh man, he gay, I can't, man. Oh man, she this. Oh, what that got to do with your African descent? What that got to do with the common experience of our ancestors? What that got to do with our current oppression that's been happening for 450 years every year on year? What's that got to do with our being in the last place in wealth every year on year? So if you're not mature enough to be able to put those differences to the side for the common goal, then we don't relate. We don't got a common ground to walk on. So that's the first part of rep, is the R, is the relate. The second, if we're gonna do, I'm talking about how we buy back the blocks and control our neighborhoods. I'm talking about the action steps, how to. If I have my board, I'll be writing R-E-P-P-P, but I don't yet. The E in rep is to educate. We have to educate ourselves politically, economically, and socially. I constantly say we just don't know enough about enough. And what you don't know will hurt you. That's the secret sauce. We'd rather be the other E, entertained, as opposed to educated. It's easy to shuck and jive. That's song my song. Oh, Love and Hip Hop on. Oh, Netflix binge. Oh, where the concert at? I'm gonna get my bottles in the club. But man, put a book in front of you. Oh man, what's that about? Watch a video. Self-educate. Educate. And see, I say this again using my personal story. I'm a former high school dropout. I dropped out of high school in the second market period of my junior year of high school. Went back a year later to an alternative program for the bad kids to graduate. Never went to college. But I'm educated. It don't gotta be a fancy university education to be educated. And now we're in the information age. It's a click of a button away. We gotta prioritize our education politically, socially, and economically, so people can stop maneuvering us. They're maneuvering us because we don't know enough about enough. Or the education we got is an education that was created for us by those who oppressed us. So all you know of how, and I learned this a few years ago when I became woke, conscientious or conscious, is that when I talked to my elders, when they first asked me, was I an African or African American? I'm African American. He said, boy, you think white. I said, what do you mean I think white? He said, you're looking at the world through the eyes of a European. You're looking at the world through the eyes of a white man because that's the only education you know. If you don't know about COINTELPRO, or if you don't know about the original Black Wall Street bombing and massacre that happened on June 1st, see, they'll say the Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street was a race riot. It wasn't a race riot, it was a race massacre. We wasn't rioting. We were trying to protect ourselves. If you don't know about our history of greatness, if you don't know about how we can elevate socially, or let's take it to the economic frame, if you don't know that you could use your Section 8 vouchers to buy a home instead of just paying rent, Section 8 can be used for a mortgage. If you don't know you could buy a 1 to 4 family house with a 3.5% down payment, meaning $3,500 down on a $100,000 house. If you don't know that you could buy apartment buildings with no cash or credit through deal syndication. If you don't know that you can have a real estate fund or a development company or start your own business, or that you can fund your business with a 680 credit score, get up to $250,000 of funding in as little as 3 days without showing any tax returns, any bank statements, any W-2s, or any employment history. But if you don't know it, how can you execute it? If you don't understand lending and interest rates and points, you'll be fearful of credit and fearful of loans. You say, I don't want no debt. Grandma said no credit cards. But how wealthy was grandma? So if we don't, so my point being is that to buy back our blocks, control our own neighborhoods, to rep our hood, R-E-P-P-P, we have to relate to one another. We have to be educated. And so part of what I'm doing with this corner class movement as we go on tour in September is that, and I'm going to be looking for people here in Atlanta as well, is I'm going to be looking for people that are passionate about wealth education, who are experienced or can be trained. That's why I love the corner class. Anything can happen. I'm looking for people that can be experienced and trained, and who I can help duplicate myself as educators on these corners. I don't want to do all the work. I can't do all the work. But if I can create the system, the blueprint, the format, where we can educate ourselves. What this cost me? What this cost us? Us educating ourselves and taking our destiny to our own hands is not even that expensive. It's just being intentional and showing effort. See, love is an action word. You can't say you love your people, but you do nothing for your people. You can't say you're a leader and you love your people, but all you can do is hashtag or tweet. There has to be some actual action to your love. This is part of what we do. So we do these corner classes. We do these corner classes as a way to bring financial education to a equal playing field environment. Come as you are, get the game, come off work, just pull on up, and be able to get some gems, some jewels that can hopefully change your life. It was some seeds that were planted along my path, my journey. I remember my big homie in Baltimore, Kenny Bird. He owns some real estate out there, and he's a pretty big guy in Baltimore these days, but when I was working with him, I was slinging dope around Baltimore, 17 years old. I had a blue face Mariner Rolex, and I was showing him. He said, Slim, that jewelry cool. He said, but you could buy your jewelry, but he said, God ain't making no more land. So you can buy all the cars and jewelry you want, but they could be reduplicated. Buy land, supply and demand. God's not making no more. I didn't go right away as a 17-year-old dope boy and go buy land. It took me 8 years to be Mr. Real Estate. But that seed was planted. So I do these classes and this education and we live stream it, etc. to hopefully plant a seed in somebody that might touch you today. It might be somebody here in the crowd that just ain't there yet, ain't ready yet. They might got to go through a bid. You might got to do 3 years before you ready. Because this ain't sinking home yet. But maybe the seed will be watered, nurtured, and harvested to one day you stand around telling your story and talking about how you went and built a real estate portfolio or got your mama first property or got your first 4-unit or started a real estate fund, your own business franchise, whatever that might be. But I'm saying that we all have it in us. So we talked about our R. We got to relate. Our E. We got to educate. Our P. We have to participate. If we are truly, as a unit, gonna do something that has not been done in our generation or our parents' generation. We have about nearly 100 people outside in the corner right now. Anyone, out of all you very educated people, I want someone to tell me what's the last successful collective economic effort that black people have done together.
The 1,000-man march.
1,000-man march is a start.
Absolutely.
That was more of a social effort. So far, we haven't had the economic portion, which is what we're working on right now.
They planted the seed.
The seed's planted. Go ahead, King.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam.
Okay,
Business.
and business. Correct. So we have one. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Nation of Islam, the Millionaire March, and some of the collective efforts. So out of 43 million people, we have one leader under one organization and nation that successfully pulled off an economic effort out of all of us. What's those odds? And then that was a benefit to us. Now let's take it a step further and say, how can we create an economic vehicle or effort where we all can participate, but then all be able to reap the profits and the returns from? Now we all reap the benefit of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Nation of Islam effort because of all the community upliftment, advancement, work, and all that they do. So we're never going to discredit that. But I'm saying, when have we all put dollars into a pot and all reap dollars out of the pot?
I got one. It was an Atlanta airport out here started by some brothers, I think. Maybe back in the 90s, I want to say. I might have been a kid. But
Are you talking on mass scale, though, right?
Right.
Never. Never seen it on mass scale.
What era are we talking about?
not an airline.
This is my point, though. We got to dig so deep. We got to ask what era we talking about. If you ask the Jewish community, hey, what collective economic Jewish community effort have y'all done? Name one.
I have a list.
David, hey, last week. That's my point. We got a lot of work to do. So if we are going to truly buy back our block, we all got to participate. And so from a leadership or visionary perspective, we are collaborating on, that's why the 1,000-man Tulsa goes so hand in hand, to bring those old Nation of Islam roots and grassroots successful efforts to a 21st century real estate crowd fund that allows everybody to participate together and say we all own that. I got a piece of that. So what we are leading up to is something that has never been done, at least in our generation, and likely our parents' generation, and maybe in their parents' generation. Or if it has been done, we're talking about, quite frankly, a small handful. So we're gonna rep our neighborhoods, buy back our blocks, build Black Wall Streets, unite, all these cool things that we say. We gotta relate to one another. We gotta be educated and be intentional about our education. We all gotta participate. It's not on one man's effort, one man's vision, one woman's effort, one woman's voice. Like, you gotta get involved. Like, you saw Brandon Wigley up here, my assistant Josh, I got King Vic back there. I got Queen Amari over here. It's Juan, right? My new guy, Juan. I got my staff out here. What I'm trying to say is that I'm willing to lead by example to make some sacrifices that allow us to be able to advance together. Cause it's a small things, but we won't be intentional about it. I think intentional is really the word. It's focused and intentional. If we really gonna do this, like that's what I'm about. Like y'all see my queen and I, she was the original voice and organizer of the Houston's boycott that happened nationally and here in Atlanta where we shut down the Lynch Road Houston's. This queen did that.
Yeah, remember that.
Right. And we weren't even saying it for claps, we appreciate it. But the point I'm saying is that it was a collective effort that we all have to chip in to be able to do the things that we say we want to do. I'm an action person. I'm a passionate speaker. I'm going to sweat when I talk. I'm going to yell when I talk. But my goal is always for my work to beat my words. So when you say, oh, Jay, talk a good one, let me see. And many of you saw me on World Star Hip Hop or Shade Room or another blog 2, 3, 4 years ago. And what you'll watch is that it's always been progression and elevation. And I've always been putting in the work. I'm going to continue to put in the work till God takes me from here. But it's purpose-driven work. It's legacy work. Like my secret sauce to if you want to be great, you want to be legendary, you want to have a legacy, you gotta do some legendary-ish. You gotta do something that hasn't been done before. You gotta take some risk. So I'm saying, as a community, if we're really gonna unite, if we're really gonna buy back the block, if we're really gonna build the Black Wall Street, I mean, we literally, my queen was like, "We really gonna build the Black Wall Street?" Like, yeah, we really gonna build the Black Wall Street. Like our own area. For those who don't know, Black Wall Street of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there was one here in Auburn Ave, and in Durham, North Carolina, and in Salem, North Carolina, and in Richmond, Virginia, all who were burned down or destroyed. And in Harlem as well. But if we're going to build the Black Wall Street, which in Tulsa, Oklahoma was 36 square blocks of over 2,000 homes and businesses, airplanes, bus lines, movie theaters, insurance companies, real estate companies, banks, churches, tailors, salons, barbershops, all black owned. If we're really going to do that, it's going to take more than hashtags and tweets. It's going to take more than a corner class meeting. We started out our first 1,000 men march meeting with 700. Second was 300. Third was $150. The last we had 40, 50 people. But with few, we can get the job done. But my point is, you're not going to get the buy back the block. You're not going to build. You think they built a 36 square foot Black Wall Street in 1921, just 50 years after enslavement, by being unintentional? By being accidental? I'm talking about 50 years after chattel enslavement in the Jim Crow era KKK South. They built up 36 square blocks of all black owned territory. You think that happened by accident? By not participating? By not relating? By not being educated? This is what we have to do if we truly want to say, that's what I'm speaking to. Those who talk this community empowerment, talk this buy back the block, land ownership, own our own, protect our own. That's what I'm talking about. So in our rep strategy, one thing we're going to be doing after this corner class kind of lecture and speech is we are asking all the men to stand and stay with us. The queens, we would love for you to stay and support. But us as men who are reclaiming our responsibility to our community, it's not saying we don't need our sisters or our women. Of course we do. Wouldn't be here without you.
Absolutely.
But what we're saying is that, hey babe, hey queen, hey sis, we got this. Let me man up. Let me be the man they try to destroy. Let me be the man that takes care of the village. Let me hold you down for once. So we're asking all the men to walk with us around this community. And we are doing this class here because we are in talks. Well, where's Brother Al? I see him somewhere. We are in talks with the owners of this property, this parking lot, that property, this property, that parking lot. we are 2 contract lines away from signing our MOU to acquire and develop these properties right here, this whole. So for those of you who, yeah, like buy back the block, for real, for real. Like, let me show you how to buy back the block. But not only are we going to buy back the block, we want to canvass the community, let the business owners, let the residents know, let those who are without shelter right now know, maybe mentally ill know, that we here, we love you, we willing to step up and provide for you. We're not talking about being real estate developers. That part's easy. That's numbers. We're talking about being community redevelopers. That's a difference, being a community redeveloper. We're talking about hands-on, old school, roll your sleeves up work. Oh, real man work. Or your grandpa type man work. The women and kids step to the side for a second. I got a man thing to do. And we go on to canvas this area, but outside of that, we're gonna match that with our economic power to participate together through the Tulsa Fund in collaboration with 1,000 Men and Women Inc. And we're gonna do our part in acquiring this, making astute financial investments, et cetera, and empowering our community, creating a training center for our community, an educational center for our community, a repair center for our community. So this is the real work of the people who are amongst you. This is what we're getting into. So for those men who can spare the time, I know you guys, many of you got off of work or got things to do, if you can sacrifice an extra 20 or 30 minutes to walk these blocks with us and make our presence known, this is the kind of work we have to do if you want a 36 square block area owned and controlled by you, protected by you, which is our last P. Relate, educate, participate, and protect. We all know the history of Black Wall Street. One of the most popular Instagram comments and feedback I get when I talk about buying back the block or building our own neighborhoods is, well, we know the last ones was burnt down, they were attacked. Where's our security force? Come on now. Brother Zach, where's our security force? Right here. Where's our 1,000 Men? Where's our security force? Right here. So we're gonna learn from history. Not only are we gonna relate to one another as brothers and sisters, as kings and queens, for the last 2.5 years, I haven't dropped the N word or B word. I call my sisters queen, whether you're my actual queen or you're my boss queen, sister queen. I call our sisters queen intentionally to elevate them to see that smile on their face. I call our brothers king, whether they in an N-word frame of mind or not. I'm gonna elevate that king so he can walk into his kingness. I'm gonna elevate that queen so she can walk into her queendom. So for the last 2.5 years, it cost me nothing, $0 to uplift my people by 2 words. What's up, King? How you doing, Queen? Good. So these are the things we gotta do. I'm talking about intentional, practical action steps we can do to control our own destiny, control our own narrative, control our own dollars, control our own community by relating to one another, educating one another. We're going to be doing a series of these corner classes going into home ownership, business and banking, credit, financial literacy 101, talking about leverage, how to acquire properties, how to start your own businesses. We're going to do a series of corner classes and inside lectures, traditional workshops, educating politically and socially. We still running around talking about Democrat, Republican as if either one has done anything for us.
Come on.
With your silly ass.
Come on now.
As opposed to thinking, see, we don't want to do the hard work and have the big and bodacious dreams.
Come on.
If neither party, historically, ever, has done anything for us, as opposed to dump those parties and create our own, we'd rather go with the system that was provided for us. See, we're still operating from a slave mentality. You live in the quarters that master provided for you.
That's right.
You eat the food that master provided for you.
All right.
Take the education that master provides for you.
Make it plain.
You even take on a woman in the family that master provided for you.
All right.
Take on the Democrat or Republican or political party that master provided for you.
Yes, yes.
Because you are too lazy, too immature, too unfocused, too undisciplined to do it for yourself.
Yeah, talk about it.
So I don't participate in any of the vote. And I agree with local policy, and I get all that. And I don't mind the local vote or even the national vote. I don't get all that. But where's your internal vote? You spend so much time canvassing for the local school board vote, for the local mayoral vote, for the national presidential vote, the congressman vote, and they matter. I'm not saying they don't matter. But don't you think your internal vote matters? Even more? First. These are the things, the hard work we have to do, and I'm not even pitching a book. You get this book for free online. Go to UnitedAfricansInAmerica.com. Download this for free. If you want to support and get the hard copy, it's $20. But I'm not about handling or pushing books. They cost money, so I gotta charge money. But I want you to have the information. In this solution, I talk about a unity strategy and an internal Black Vote Day for our leaders. I told Brother Zach about it. Let's get our leaders, our Dave Banners, our T.I.s, our Tamika Mallorys, our Boyce Watkins, our Tariq Nasheeds, our Brother Zach, Brother Nuri Muhammad, whoever else says they're in this space for solutions. How about we all sit down, convene, and orchestrate a Black Vote Day for us to vote on ourselves of our own governing practices. Be intentional. Do the hard work. So we talk about a unity strategy in this book, The Solution, how Africans in America achieve unity, justice, and repair. We also talk, and I don't mind sweating, basketball players sweat, football players sweat. This is my sport right here. This is my ball game. We talk about in this book how we achieve our economic strategy through education and group economics. But it's cool to talk about group economics, but what does it look like? How do you practice it in real life? So we created 2 years. It took me over 2 years to get approved and certified for the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in just research and development and lawyer fees to create an economic vehicle that can go public to allow us to invest together in a transparent way where you ain't gotta ask me, Jay, where's my money at? Go check your account. Go talk to our auditors, our third-party administrator. Not, oh, you donated some money, it's mine, and we'll figure it out later. We had enough of that. We talk about a social repair strategy in this book. Again, for free. UnitedAfricansInAmerica.com. Download it. Or cop one. And that social strategy I've worked on for the last year and a half, and Brother Zach and I are gonna continue this. A comprehensive social repair strategy. A 15-point curriculum on social repair. Reteaching us everything that we've been taught wrong. Parenting, spirituality, health and wellness, anger management, civil disobedience, civil law. A comprehensive social strategy paired with a 15-point comprehensive economic repair curriculum. This curriculum's almost finished. We invested in professional curriculum writers who have experience in the Common Core curriculum, but to create a curriculum made by us for us. This is how you have repair. So through these collaborations, through our education, through our collective participation, being intentional, being focused, having high energy and being efficient, we really can accomplish all the things that we hope and dream and our ancestors hoped and dreamed we would accomplish. That's the mission. And then we find out what we all do best. Brother Zach has a security firm. I have a real estate fund. I have a wealth education institute. So let's mix the education with the real estate economics, with the security and his entrepreneur prowess Let's Voltron up. Let's collaborate up. Let's be the real Avengers and go save our community. So if you're good at health and wellness, we need you. Under the 1,000 Men March, we've broken into 12 committees. A political committee, an education committee, health and wellness committee, social committee, politics committee. And so if you have talents, bring them to the table. Let's Voltron up, let's collaborate, let's participate. Or watch from the sidelines and donate. But in some kind of way, you need to participate in the advancement of the community, because if we don't do it for ourselves, no one's going to do it for us. And you can't wait till bias policing, bias sentencing, these things hit home before now you want to get active. You should have saw Sandra Bland as your sister. You should have saw Trayvon Martin as your brother. You should have saw Mike Brown as your cousin. This is your family. They told us something different, but this is your family. And it's up to us as the men, the kings, to lead the way. We set the tone. It's our responsibility to save the village. It's on us. So this is the opportunity that we have. So I'm going to bring actually before I bring Brother Zach up. So I want to give you guys this quick little formula. Now, we're going to plan another one of these corner classes, and I want to give you all some practical game education, but I want to tell you all about this upcoming historic event. So on June 1st, as we mentioned, which is actually the anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street bombing and massacre, on June 1st, right here out of Atlanta, we're going to be having our IPO for the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. We call it TREF. Tulsa Real Estate Fund, TREF IPO. What this means is, on June 1st, we're going to be offering 1 million shares of our company up for purchase. Each share is $50. The minimum shares you can buy is 10. So for a $500 investment, not donation, investment, we are offering up 10 shares of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and up. What your returns look like, and I said, what's my returns? The way our structure is set up is like this. Each investor, each shareholder, each owner and equity partner will get an 8% preferred return, paying on annual dividends. Outside of your 8% preferred returns, each investor will get their prorated share of 50% of our profits. So what this means is, before we make any profit as the fund managers, you all and we all, because I'm investing into the fund too. Not only will I be part of the managers and founders, but I'm investing into the fund. Put my money where my mouth is. I'm putting $10,000 in day one. June 1st, I'm putting $10,000 in our fund to buy my 200 shares. And whoever has $10,000 to invest, I'm asking you to match me. Want to talk that baller talk? I spent $30,000 in the club. I got an $8,000 belt on. Put $10,000 into the redevelopment of your community. How about that? Ball out, king, balls queen. So now on the management side, this is our crowd investment. This is our shareholders, our founders. As for a management company, Tulsa Management Company, we get a 5.5% management fee for managing the fund, the operations, investing in the fund, and we break down the other 50% of the profits. That's our fund model. We all eat together. So all your other frequently asked questions are all on our website, and we have like a 50, 60 page subscription agreement you can read that explains all your who, what, when, where, hows. But the gist of it is June 1st. Anyone that invests on June 1st, that 24-hour period, will be an honorary Tulsa Real Estate Fund founder. Meaning your name will go on our website, and whatever our first project is, your name will be etched in the bricks or on a plaque as a founder. Wow. So whoever invests, we doing this together. It's not about Jay Morrison making it. It's how many can I take with me? And how we can do this together. So June 1st is our IPO, and it continue for the rest of the year. You can invest any month, any day, continue to invest, but anyone who invests on the first day will be a Tulsa founder. So before we do this walk, I could talk for days, teach for days. I got some lessons I really want to give y'all, but I want you all to be committed to the process. Not what can I steal information I get from Jay today. Come back to the 1,000 Men March meeting. And women, it's 1,000 men and women. Come back to the meeting, I'll teach some more then. Come join Jay Morrison Academy. Classes is as cheap as $3 a day. Come do something to invest in your own advancement. God bless you. We got a free real estate investors course on my website, 30-minute crash course. Go sign up, jay-morrison-academy.com. So don't look to misuse. I don't mind you using me. Don't misuse me.
Yes, sir.
I won't misuse you. So I'm here, and I would love to go into some deeper financial lectures. Cause I'm like, man, I love teaching them how to do this and how to do that, how to do that. Today ain't about that. Today is about how do we collectively buy these blocks and redevelop our community and control our community and protect our community. So this is step one. It's going to be today, this walkthrough, making our presence known. June 1st, your opportunity to invest and participate with us. And for any education, I got over 1,000 lectures on my YouTube channel. You guys can follow me on YouTube, Mr. Jay Morrison, my Instagram full of lectures. And we have our school at Jay Morrison Academy. And through the 1,000 Men March, I told Brother Zach, I said, anybody that's active in the 1,000 Men March, they will get free lectures from me. That's my incentive. Which I shouldn't even have to incentivize you to take care of your own. But I'll do that anyway because sometimes we need a little push. But you should be incentivized enough on your own to take care of your own. Seeing the condition that our people are in. That should motivate you enough, because if we don't do something, they gonna mop us. They've been mopping us. I don't like being in last place. That's what motivates me. T.I. said it at a Dave Banner birthday party. He was like, yeah, we all could be successful and then go back to our individual corners. But what fun is that? What'd you really accomplish? So if you made your success, you gotta bring it back to the table. That's community. That's OG stuff. That's big homie stuff. It's how can you take the most people with you? So before we do our walk, I want to give you all, so again, Tulsa. It's TulsaRealEstateFund.com. You can start your free investors account today. Tell your friends, your family, etc. And listen, the dope part about it is the burden doesn't have to be on any one person. You ain't gotta press the athlete or the businessman to go spend millions of dollars. Why should all the weight in the community be on them? We all should have a part. So on TulsaRealEstateFund.com, you can start your account. Start your free investors account and get ready to invest June 1st. But the cool part about it, if we're looking at doing, we'll say, a $9 million project, it doesn't take, or we even say, all right, yeah, we'll say we're doing a $9 million project. The bank might want $3 million from us. But that's $3 million, and it's 1,000 of us, so what, 3,000 of us put up $1,000 for us to get $3 million. We knock that out on nationally, globally, on average. Or we're talking about just a couple thousand of us put up $500 to get $1 million. The pressures that had to break anybody's bank account for us to do a lot together. We just needed the vehicle to do it. So now it's time to participate. So my treat for you today, before we get on this community mission, I want to hear if Brother Zach has any words for us before we get started on that. But I do have a treat for you. I do want to introduce you to my boss queen, my fiance, whose name's gonna change come July 21st. And so, I may not do this in this year's corner class, might be my last one, so I'm gonna give it to y'all real quick. Cause I knew she was the bomb when she bought me that Quran. No, I'm not religious, but I submit to the will of Allah. She knows I'm not Christian, but I'm something like Christ, because I teach in the streets. Loving the least for life. So yeah, you the bomb for that. What's even doper, she called me king and promised to have my back. And I believe her. But we all know actions speak louder than words. But when it comes to loving a black man, ain't no queen's actions louder than hers. And when it comes to the physical, ain't too many queens fatter than hers. But that's shallow talk compared to how her smile lights up a room. Natural hair and the stare has me hot like June. Like them hidden figure queens, I'm gonna take her pretty to the moon. And we out of here. See, this warrior queen I'm talking about has a heart of gold, visits the elderly every day, good deeds for her soul, speaks up proudly for her race. See, my queen is bold, and she nice with her hands, man, my queen is cold. She wiped the tears from my eyes, kept the story untold. She's amazing. See, this warrior queen I'm talking about is one of a kind, like Betty Shabazz meets Maya. Yeah, this queen is mine. She bad and bougie, got her own. Damn, my queen is fine. Black power fist in the air. See, to me, that's a dime. She's amazing. I want to introduce you to my queen, Ernestine the Dream.
Spin that shit and get it right back. Know how about buy some land, build that shit and lead the pack, or invest that shit and watch it stack, watch it rack, watch it make your money back, like double that, triple that. See, I'm trying to show you the format of how the rich get wealthy and stay wealthy. How they keep their pockets healthy and stay healthy. See, I'm trying to give you the cheat sheet of how a group of like-minded individuals came together to build the whole Black Wall Street. Like, here's the formula. That same bag of weed you buy every day is $20 a day, times 7 days a week, times 4 weeks a month, times 12 months a year. That's $6,720. That's 3% down on a $200,000 house. And in case you were unaware, it only takes 3% down to purchase a whole home. That's something you own. That's seeds you've watered, planted, grown, and sown. See, when you have a strategic plan, you won't ever have to call anybody landlord because you'll be the lord of your land. See, we need to break this generational curse and build generational wealth. We need to stop strictly being consumers while working backwards and digging a ditch and making everybody else's family rich. Like, pop quiz. How do you know what a WCW means before you know what your ROI is? Or a FICO score is? See, our relationships with finances need to get way stronger. Like, we need to build a way better rapport. Like, you cute and all, but I'm gonna need you to know your credit score. Like, how many of y'all have money in stock? Or how many of y'all own a piece of the rock? See, as a people, we need to set way higher financial goals and have more power and control. We need to know less about sports and own more houses and stores. Own some shit you can really call yours. Like, newsflash, it ain't really your hood if you don't own no doors. See, this tainted system is own or be owned. You can buy or be loaned. And you can listen to these words as a poem or a rap. I'm just trying to show you how to beat the trap. Thank you. So listen, it's not enough ladies out here for me. Where's all my ladies at? Raise your hands. Listen, the next time we have a meeting, I need you guys to bring 2 and 3 more friends, because yes, we have to be here to support our men and be the backbone for our men, but we also have to have ourselves in order and ourselves in line. My mom said a woman has 2 things, your reputation and your finances. So that's why I make sure I walk with integrity, I make sure I keep a bag. And as Jay said, June 1st we are going live, and I personally, I'm an owner in the company, I'm a partner in the company, and I am taking $5,000 of my own money and putting it in and investing in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. So I want some other women to come match me, and if you don't have $5,000, bring what you got so we can have our finances in order and our reputation in order, right? Jay said something about an E earlier. He said, educate and entertain. I'm an entertainer. This is what I do. And I was on this panel last night listening to David Banner speak, and he said something so powerful to me. He said, rap changed the world. He said, music, entertainment changed the world, and all we did was sell somebody else's clothes and somebody else's alcohol. And when he said that, I was like, dang. So if I'm gonna be an entertainer, I'm gonna come up here and talk about stocks and finances and ownership and entrepreneurship, because if that's all we listen to is entertainment, then I'm gonna give you some shit to be entertained by, right? So I know we gotta get out of here. I want to leave you guys with that. I thank you to Brother Zach and Sister Naima, and of course my King Jay for having us out here and planting these seeds. Let's continue to plant seeds and continue to love on each other.
So, by show of hands real quick, who here has received a wealth education at home or in school? All right. So, for those of you who are interested in figuring out where you can start to receive a wealth education, a wealth strategy education, where do I start? How I look at my FICO score, my credit score, my budget, leverage, real estate, home ownership. I have some of my wealth education advisors here. Raise your hand, guys, kings, queens. So you all can see any of them if you want to schedule an appointment with them free. Don't cost you nothing for a free financial game plan. So anyone with a free financial game plan, you can see any of our staff here, or you can call our 800 number with JMA, which is 1-844. Join JMA for a free financial game plan to figure out that same wealth education you said you never got. If we never got wealth strategy training, how will we ever become wealthy? Outside lotto, sports, and being lucky. Building wealth is an intentional strategy. It's specific. It's not rocket science. It's secret sauce. So on all of you who have not, to call this number, we have staff in office right now, or to meet with any of these kings who are here to give you a free financial game plan or schedule that. Now for all my men, I'll bring my brother Zach. Brother Zacharias Muhammad, founder. Give a round for him. My partner, my brother. He called us here today for this men march in our community today. He's our acquisitions partner on these developments here. And I said, brother, I'm gonna do a corner class to bring more men out. They're gonna come out in the corner class. And now let's challenge them to see, are they interested in pouring into their community outside of what they can take from this class? It's not about take. The same way I give, he gives, you gotta give back too. But if we all got a give and take relationship, we now have some rapport and some camaraderie. And we all participate in our advancement. So brother King, you wanna give us all marching orders?
Thank you so much, Brother Jay. Let's give Brother Jay another round of applause. Like he said, my name is Brother Zacharias H. Muhammad. I'm the president and founder of the 1,000 Men and Women, Inc. We called for the 1,000 Men March along with my brother Jay here and all of those that was on our committee. What we have done as a follow-up, outside of trying to buy back the block, we have to protect the block that we want to own. All throughout history, we have lost what we have acquired because the men have not stepped up to the plate to protect what we acquired. You cannot have business and drugs on the same corner. You cannot have business and prostitution on the same corner. You cannot have a strong community and all the things that affect us or ill affect us as a community. We won't step up to the plate as men in this hour and call to order our neighborhood as the head, as God is our head, but men are the head of our community.
Yes, sir.
But where the hell are the men today? So if we're gonna just sit around and talk, hashtag and tweet, but not get on our feet and walk down the street and just make our presence felt as black men, then we're gonna lose at the end of the day. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
We saw our sister at Waffle House the other week get brutally embarrassed by some crooked cops. I don't give a damn if it's the police or if it's the Pope. Anybody put their hands on our sister, we take their goddamn neck.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to say it very clearly, it's on camera. This ain't no punk movement.
That's right.
And that's why the men got to step forth now. But if you weak, get behind us. It's going to take some fearless men to take control of where we live. I want us to say that together. Take control of where we live.
Take control of where we live.
Say it one more time. I want to hear the strength. Take control of where we live.
Take control of where we live.
If we ain't about taking control, we just going to beg City Hall to give us justice. We'll never get justice that way. We're going to take our feet and walk the land and claim the land that we came to conquer. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
I want to hear it. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Y'all ready to walk the neighborhood? We ain't doing that but showing love, but our presence. The enemy said, oh, black people coming together. Black men coming together. We tell sisters, you not did enough. We still need you. But just let the men step and take our rightful place. We know you're tired, sister. You've been carrying us for 400 years. But this hour right here, it requires men to step up to the plate. So what we're gonna do is just walk throughout the block. Every brother that we see, every sister that we see, we're gonna show love. How you doing, black man? How you doing, black man? I don't care if they're homeless, if they on drugs, if they on the corner. All we doing is showing our presence that, hey, we're here now. And we come to repair and retrieve back what's rightfully ours. And then the next time we go, we're gonna have our sisters go. Because we don't know what we might face out there. So we can't, no army put their women on the front line. So we're coming back with strategic planning as we begin to take control of what was once ours. It was so rich, they call it sweet already. But it done got so bitter now. What happened to us? Well, that day is over. That's in the past. We're gonna throw that away and burn it up. Y'all ready for the takeover?
Yes, sir.
That sound kind of weak. Are y'all ready for the takeover?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all ready for the takeover?
Yes, sir.